So it isn't vanity to videotape yourself on the ice. It's actually super helpful. I never even realized I did this, and you probably have things that are the same. We don't feel that we're doing what we're doing, so I never realized I did this until I was out on the ice with Steve McKeekan and Travis Ridgen, and just I was looking at B-roll video, and I was like, oh no. I do that because it's one of the biggest things that I help you guys correct with your off-ice training. So I'm going to show you what it is, and then I'm going to show you the tools that we use off the ice to successfully get rid of it from your game, and I'm going to go back to the gym and start working on it too because I got to get rid of it from my game. So here's what it is. So it's basically a transition from a butterfly to my skates, so a recovery push. And here's what I did. Boom, I got my leg underneath me. I basically stood up and then pushed out. So you can see right away, and I'll show you kind of at my fast speed, which will still look pretty slow. But I was like, boom, and then stand up and then push. So obviously I don't want that. Obviously I want my push to be coming right, starting right from there, not standing up first and then transitioning into that push. So we're going to go back into the gym. I'm going to show you the exercises you can use to make that a way faster and more powerful push. I don't have power pushing from here. I have way more power pushing from that loaded leg. So we'll get in the gym. I'll show you how you can correct it. I'll show you what I'm going to work diligently on to correct it. See you back in the lab. So I'm pretty interested to know how many of you have that same habit as I do, that, you kind of stand up and then push, even though it feels like you're pushing from the bottom position. So really highlights the importance of getting some video footage of yourself on the ice as well. Leave a comment below if you do that same thing, or if I'm just all alone in that. But the key, and I feel so funny because I say this all the time, it's one of the big things I work on with the higher level goalies, because they have so many pieces of the puzzle all put together, but this is one that I find is really missing, especially in those higher level goalies. Not to say that it doesn't benefit lower level goalies as well. Obviously, it's something I need to work on too, but it's this bottom up strength. So basically coming from this bottom position up is different from going top down. So when I squat with a barbell or whatever, I do what's called top down. I start here, I squat down, I come back up tall. But when you're a goalie on the ice, you're going to start in this bottom position anytime you're recovering or pushing from your butterfly, and then you're going to come up, and it's completely different. So if you do nothing else from this video, try this. If it's easy for you, I will sort of guarantee that you're not quite doing something right. So what you're going to do is you're going to establish this body angle. So I'll turn a little bit just so you can see. My weight is over my front leg. I can't do it if I'm in this position. My weight is over this front leg. My torso is tall and stable, but angled forward. So again, my weight is over that front foot. And then everything is coming up together as I stand tall and bring my hips through at the top. If you find it easy, you're probably doing some variation of kicking off with this leg, or really quickly getting about 6 inches off the floor and then coming up into your tall position, or you're leaning forward and letting your hips come up a little bit first, and then you'll come all the way to the top. I'm exaggerating a little bit, but those are kind of the 3 common flaws. So what I look for is for this knee to come off the ground really as soon as I start to push up, and that the foot comes with it, taking about 4 seconds to come from the ground all the way up. So I want control in that movement. So that's the first drill we're going to work on, because if you don't have strength in this bottom position, then yeah, your only strategy is to kind of get up this far into your power position and then make your push. So we need to correct that. Start with about 4 reps on each side, but 4 seconds to come all the way up. And really pay attention to your technique, because we don't want to be building bad habits off the ice. So, you know, if you're dipping forward before you push, that's going to be a problem for you on the ice. Now that you have some strength dialed in, what you really need is power. So power is our ability to apply our force very, very quickly. It's what lets us get from where we are to where we need to be before the puck gets there. So the simplest one we can do, again, working from this bottom-up position. Everything we're going to do today is from this bottom-up position. But it's just going to be a simple half-kneeling squat jump. So we start in this half-kneeling position. I'm going to try to keep a nice stable torso. Almost think, you know, if I had my glove and blocker. So I'm not going to use my arms to help. I'm going to stay nice and stable in my torso. And then I'm just going to drive this foot into the ground with as much force as I can as I jump right up and come back. And it's going to be a deliberate pace. So I'm not trying to link these reps or do as many reps as I can in a minute or anything. This is power application we're working on. This is a skill we're trying to learn, how to push from this low compacted position. So here, everything's coming up together. Get the weight over that foot. Push right through, you know, getting what's called triple extension. So I'm extending at my hip, knee, and even my ankle as I do that to make full use of that chain. You would start this one without using a band at all, just working on, you know, getting that rotation with your head and your chest and your hands, getting that recovery, and then pushing right from that bottom position so that it's almost one, you know, it's almost one movement that gets you moving. But just to show you a little bit more advanced version, because the band really just lets me feel like I have something to push against. I could have this band attached at my waist, and then it really is just giving me some resistance for my push. I'm choosing to hold the band in my hands because that lets me feel that I'm using my torso as I rotate my body to initiate the movement. It also makes me have to do what's called Rotary Stabilization. So sort of control my torso in this rotational plane. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to think about getting head, shoulders, hands to go as that knee comes up, and then we're going to get a really good push right from the bottom. Then we'll just stick when we get to the other side for a second and come back. So it's a deliberate pace. We're thinking about it. Sometimes we think about it too much. But everything together and pushing right from the bottom. So without the band, this is what you're focusing on. When you get here, boom, that power push starts right away. You're staying low. That will help you. If you come up here and you're tall and then you push, that's wasted space, that's wasted energy, and you're not getting as powerful push as you can. So right from here, pushing and staying nice and low. So those are a few of the drills you can use to correct that bad habit that I have and that I'm pretty sure some of us share. And we keep the volume pretty low on those. So, you know, kind of 4 reps of each, but really that deliberate practice. It isn't, a lot of us are strong enough, we're just not using our muscles in the right sequence or with the right magnitude or with the right explosiveness at the right point. So we're trying to practice and ingrain that movement pattern that, you know, hey, this is how I do a recovery to my skates from my butterfly. Like I said, I didn't even realize I was doing the other. I consciously was trying to get a strong push right out of the bottom, but once I saw it on video, it's like, okay, what I perceive I'm doing is different from what I'm actually doing. So now I have to break it down, spend some time on this deliberate practice, and you do the same so that we can clean that up. Do these drills 2, maybe 3 times a week for a couple weeks. And then when you're on the ice, when you're just doing your little warm-up, practice sort of 4 or 5 reps each way, thinking of that, thinking of staying low, thinking of getting those good, quick, powerful pushes, and then leave a comment below. Let me know how it feels. Most of the goalies, when we add this element into camp, they really struggle, especially with the bottom-up squat. They really struggle with it, but just for the first maybe 2 or 3 workouts, and then their body starts to learn, aha, you know, this is how we do it. And then they tell me that they notice notice almost an immediate effect in how they're moving on the ice. So sometimes too, they need to dial back their pushes because they're getting so much more power and distance from the same relative push that they need to actually conserve their energy more and not push quite as hard to beat the puck to where it needs to be. So that's a good problem to have. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and I will keep making these videos for you so you can win more games with fewer injuries. So Maria from GoalieTrainingPro.com. See ya.